G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Wildkard. Thank you for watching the Wildcard Rugby Show. Like, comment, and subscribe. And yes, you are here today because we are heading to the final round of the Six Nations of 2025, and we still have no idea who's going to win this one. Actually, it's the top three teams are still possible contenders to win this one with various degree of difficulties. And apart from France, England, and Ireland has to rely on the results from the other games to actually secure themselves a win. And yeah, it is a bit of a weird one. And let's try to decipher to the best of our abilities what could be the results coming out of this weekend, I guess. So yeah, France with ball in their court, if they win this one against Scotland at home, they're pretty much going to win. Unless if they win without a bonus point and somehow England scores like 80 points margin or something, 90 points margin over Wales, then England could still win this one based on point difference. But if France just wins this one and gets a bonus point, they guarantee themselves the championship. Even if they win without the bonus point, it's very likely they're going to win. I do think that Six Nations is a bit poor in the way that the ranking system is designed. When in the case that if the two teams, like in the Rugby World Cup pool stage, if the two teams are equal in overall points, it actually comes down to the head-on-head result, not to the point difference. So England in that case should be winning Six Nations, not because they won the head-on-head matchup, and that's how the Rugby World Cup pool stage works. But for some reason, Six Nations wants to be different, and it goes down to the point difference, and France has a massive lead over England there. So the only chance of England to win basically is for Scotland to beat France. Ireland, on the other hand, has to rely on two games to play out in their favor to win the game. They have lost too many bonus points coming into the final rounds, and they basically require France to lose and England to lose to Wales at Cardiff. It is not completely impossible. It is, I think it is definitely not out of the realms of impossibility. Like, Wales is starting to, it's a pretty big rise after Warren Gallen has been fired at England. Looking a little bit overconfident, in my opinion, with some of the team selection. Might actually choke on this one. And then France versus Scotland, much difficult task for Scottish team to win this one. But hey, without Anton Dupont, Scotland being criticised for not really performing this year, losing the Calcutta Cup, this could be the crowning moment. So this definitely still possible, and not that out of the question for Ireland to win this one. Should these two results go their favor. Scotland's kind of in the middle of nowhere. They're not going to move too much. And then the final one is actually a bit interesting here. Wales could potentially go ahead of Italy because, unless Italy somehow beat Ireland, which is very unlikely in my opinion. But if Wales beat England or even lose to England with a losing bonus point, and assuming that Italy gets, demolished by Ireland, Wales can actually move ahead of Italy, despite never having to win a single match, or just based on point difference and total bonus points they've been given. So again, this is again the head-on-head match should be the determining factor up to the rankings of the two teams. So Wales should be ranked lower than Italy because they lost the head-on-head match, if based on Rugby World Cup pool stage laws. But yeah, Six Nations has a pretty poor way to rank these things. So yeah, let's have the first look at the biggest game of the weekend. France versus Scotland. Everybody's hinging on this game. This will be the final game of the weekend as well. So all the other games will be done heading into this one, and this will be played in Paris. In front of a very rowdy French crowd, especially with Anton Dupont injured. I think the French crowd will be pretty thirsty for a big result after that. And and also this is going to be the final game, and this is going to be for the championship. I think the French crowd will be fully up for it. This will be on Saturday. Not much wet rain heading into it. A really good condition for this beautiful match in Paris. And we're going to talk about Anton Dupont. There's been a lot of anger, I think, in France and from the coaching staff as well. Fabien Galtier has cited the Irish team for injuring Anton Dupont, and then also a head clash on Calvin Nash as well, on Lagaric, I think his name was. Not Lagaric, the center. Not a center, the guy that came off the bench to play center. We'll look at him in a second. So yeah, it's there's a lot of, I guess, frustration in the French camp with the injury to Anton Dupont, and a lot of fans will be out for some big results this weekend. And speaking of the two teams head on head, Last time Scotland beat France in France was during the COVID lockdown, essentially, in front of an empty crowd. And since then, it's been pretty one-sided. There was one warm-up match. It doesn't really count because the French was just kind of like, it was a warm-up match heading the Rugby World Cup. That's the only time Scotland beat France there. But outside of that, the French has been pretty much one-sided affair over the Scotland team. The gap isn't really that big between the two teams, especially recently 30-27, 25-21, 16-20 last year without Antoine Dupont. So without Antoine Dupont again this weekend, this might not be as straightforward of win to the France as people might be expecting. The referee on the field is going to be Matthew Carley of England. He's pretty decent. I think he'll be just fine for this match, and I think that I don't think he'll be too crazy when it comes to the refereeing between these two sides. So yeah, let's have a quick look at the lineup for the two teams. For the French side, that once again has opted for the 7-1 setup on the bench, and the Scotland team has gone for the 6-2 setup, something that they've been doing more and more often for the Scotland side as well. The 7-1 setup last week, despite having two backs injured, they was fine. They were just fine being able to fill in the back line with one of their forwards coming off the bench, and there was everything went swimmingly for the French. Actually score more points without Antoine Dupont in the second half as well, with that big forwards coming off the bench. So yeah, let's have a look at the team for the French side. Coming in number 1 now, Jean-Baptiste Gros and Pedro Movaca and Uni Antonio. Pretty much the go-to now for the French side in the front rowers. I do think the French scrum is a little bit weaker nowadays in the setup without Cyril Bay in the number 1 jersey. Cyril Bay's obviously off the bench, so it is a little bit weaker, but I think that is kind of like the idea and the emphasis for the French team to have a stronger bench coming off for the second half. Pierre Schumann comes in number 1, Dave Cherry number 2, and Xander Fagerson coming number 3 for the Scotland team. Schumann has been going on and off the bench as well. The Scotland has been tinkering with him potentially coming off as a finisher, but I do think that he is much better at starting at number 1 jersey for Scotland. Coming number 4, Thibaut for Lamont for the France, and Mikhail Gillard number 5 in the locking duo. Gregor Brown for Scotland number 4, and Grant Gilchrist at number 5. In the loose forwards now, we got Francois Croc number 6, Paul Bodekant number 7, and Gregory Aldridge comes in number 8. For the Scotland side, we got Jamie Ritchie, Rory number 6, Roy Darge number 7, and Matt Fagerson gets moved into the ahead of Jack Dempsey coming in number 8 for the Scotland side. In the backline now, we've got the Maxime Luku replacing Antoine Dupont number 9. Luku came off the bench last week. I'm actually a little bit surprised they don't have like Garrick on the bench last week, but it turned out Luku was really, really excellent coming off the bench, and he earned himself a start this week. And I thought LeGarrick was outstanding. I was surprised that LeGarrick isn't starting this week, but I can see where Fabien Galtier is going for. They want that more experience, more of a leader on the field out of 9 jersey. And I think Luku is definitely that, leadership character you want to bring on, whereas LeGarrick is more of a flary kind of guy and very, very dynamic, and probably, maybe a bit better off the bench in that sense for the French style. Ben White comes in number 9 for Scotland. Romain Ntamack comes in number 10 for France, and Finn Russell number 10 for Scotland. I think that Finn Russell, once again, under pressure, he hasn't delivered so far, at least for me, in my opinion, this season. This will be the biggest pressure cooker. I think that, the loss in Calcutta Cup, missing 3 conversions, is something that he wants to potentially redeem by winning this game for himself and for Scotland. Ntamack as well has been outstanding for France. Coming back from his suspension, he's been pretty good. In the back line now, I think these were the difference between the French team and the Ireland team last week. It's the speed that they have on their wingers, on both their wingers on the French side. Louis Bieri has just probably like one of the fastest, if not the fastest player right now in all of rugby. Maybe Cheslin Kobe is faster, but yeah, maybe Curdy Arlenser is faster actually, but he's right up there with just how fast he is. And the speed was the difference between Ireland and France last week, and they absolutely destroyed the Irish wingers, albeit they had a couple injuries for Ireland. But Bieri once again, I think he does have the speed advantage over Darcy Graham, and Darcy Graham is pretty fast himself. So I think the French should probably have the speed advantage over both the wingers here. So Benjamin Pinot coming number 14 was outstanding as well. Or was able to find space, and he actually put a bit tighter as well at times to bring, to almost play like a bit of as a almost like a center option at times for Penalda as well, which worked out quite well for the French. And Duhan van der Merwe, something that I think that's, coming in closer to play more like a center is something I think they should try to do with him. His size, and it's just something that's really, really, really big for the Scotland team, but they don't do that very much with him. And I do think that Penal is a little bit faster than van der Merwe as well. His opposite number there. We've got Yoram Moefana comes in number 12, and Gael Fickou returns to number 13 for the French. The veteran now getting close to his 100 caps. He hasn't had much of an appearance for the French team recently, so he'll be excited to be returning to the fold there. We've got Tom Jordan coming number 12, and Hugh Jones, the two combinations that the Scotland team has been sticking with this season. I think that the combination was started out a bit rusty. Definitely worked some of the kinks off much better, especially Tom Jordan with Finn Russell. That combination didn't really work at all, I feel like, in the first match, and then now they're definitely starting to click, and Tom Jordan has been really outstanding as a ball runner as well. In the fullback position, we've got Thomas Ramos, as always, for the French side. Great boot, good running, attacking, but I think Blair Kinghorn is probably going to be the Lions 12-15. For now, he's absolutely outstanding, attacking, height, under the high ball, kicking game, almost as a second playmaker, and just overall very outstanding, very good goal kicker as well. This will be a great matchup to see. I think that Black Kinghorn might be slightly better than Ramos in terms of counter-attacking, and we'll have to see how they're going to work out. But this will be an outstanding match to watch out this weekend. Julian Moncon, not sure why his stats are a little bit messed up here, but Julian Moncon comes in at number 16. Is this just link not working? I don't know what's going on here. This is different bit of a program issue there. So Julian Moncon comes in number 16 for France. Ewan Ashman number 16 for Scotland. Cyril Bay number 17. Roy Sutherland number 17 for Scotland. Dorian Aldagheri comes in number 18, and Will Hurd number 18 for Scotland. Number 19 Hugo Oradu for France. Johnny Gray number 19 for Scotland. Emmanuel Miafal comes in number 20 for France. Marshall Sykes gets a nod at number 20 for Scotland. Oscar Jegu, he was the one that came on as a center on the weekend. Really outstanding, comes in number 21. Ben Muncaster comes in number 21 for Scotland. Number 22, the 7th forward, was Anthony Jaloc for the French. And then Jamie Dobby for Scotland come in at number 22. And then finally, Nolan Le Garrick comes in at number 23 as the halfback substitution for France. And Stafford McDowell will be on the bench for the Scotland side at number 23. Yeah, it is really interesting. The French team has just jammed more youth as well on the bench, moving away from the likes of, Taufefe Noah, the veterans, that used to be the backbone of the French bomb squad, so to speak. And I think that this is just a big moving away from younger and just sheer size big boys coming off the bench to try to finish the game with more energy and speed as well. Speed is the key here. I do think that the French will win this one. I think that the French has a bit of an edge in the forwards, and I think that the Scotland team's consistency just hasn't been that impressive this season. I would like to see an upset, but I just don't see it happening. But yeah, so I think the France will win this one. 20 points to 15. I don't think it's going to be a huge score. I think France will just barely scrape ahead. Actually, 21 points to 15. Let's say that's the results. Now let's quickly move on to some of the other games. Two of the other games on the weekend. Wales versus England. Obviously, the trash talking came out for Warren Gatland, saying that Matt Sherrod has that luxury to not worry about building the team towards Rugby World Cup. So he's taking a page out of Eddie Jones there. So the Welsh team will actually try to, end the losing streak this weekend as well. This will be, I think, probably the fairy tale end to the losing streak to beat England at home in front of the home crowd at Millennium Stadium. But it is going to be a really tough game. I do think that England might be underestimating the Welsh team a little bit. It's going to be perfect weather there as well. Cardiff, 8 degrees, not much rain, pretty nice. conditions. And then Nick Berry from Australia is going to be the referee. And Nick Berry has been very, very good recently as a referee, very concise. And he's probably going to have to let the game go a little bit easier on some of the adjudications on the penalties, in my opinion. So yeah, Wales team, I think that overall still definitely the underdogs going into this game, but I do think that I thought England's lag of hunger last week against Italy really showed that I just don't think England. There's definitely a possibility for Wales for an upset. In fact, I think I'm gonna just say I think Wales is gonna upset England this weekend, and just to see a fairy tale end to their losing streak on a good note. And I do think that England, with the prospect of winning Six Nations, it's something that's going to be playing the players' minds as well going into this match. So it's going to be more pressure on England team, and then the Welsh really wanted to just end this nightmare on a very strong note. So yeah, just quickly go through this team. Nicky Smith number 1, LAD number 2, and Will Griffith-Jones number 3 for the Welsh. England side, we've got Ellis Gench, Luke Cowan-Dickie, and Will Stewart in the front rows. I think that the England front rowers definitely should have an advantage, but I think Will Griffith-Jones has been really, really good in terms of scrummaging. Other than the stupid yellow card last week, he has been pretty good for Wales. So I think Ellis Gench has a bit of a work cut out for him for this weekend. Will Rowlands coming in number 4, and Daffy Jenkins number 5. Two pretty decent combination nowadays for the Welsh team. Mario Toji number 4 for England. Ollie Chisholm comes in number 5. Aaron Wainwright comes in number 6 in the blind flanker position. Jack Morgan number 7. And Talupe Faletau number 8. This is a really good back loose forward setup for the Welsh team as well. Moving Wainwright to the 6, just giving that bit more size behind the props as well. We've got Tom Curry, Ben Curry 6 and 7 for England, and Ben Earl number 8. This is once again the triple loose forward open side flanker set up for the England side. This did not work well for them against Ireland in the first round, so I don't know why they've gone back to it against Wales. Number 9, we've got Thomas Williams for Wales, and number 10, Gareth Anscombe. Anscombe and Tom Williams has been pretty good as a combination for a very long time now, and it's good to see that getting back together recently, and they're starting to click as well in the 9 and 10 combo there as well. Alex Mitchell, number 9, I think again underused by England, just lots of kicking, a lot less attacking decision out of him. But Finn Smith has been doing quite well for England. Good decision making overall. Overall I think he's done quite well for the England side after Marcus Smith's been moved to the fullback position. In the centers now, we've got Joe Roberts coming number 11 for Wales, and then Ben Thomas gets that. Joe Roberts coming up number 11. He's come off the bench. Elliot Daly gets a number 11 jersey again. It's like the 3 center setup, I guess. Bothwell's gone back to. Elliot Daly definitely fills the role of center much better. But anyway, number 12 we got Ben Thomas, and Max Llewellyn has worked out quite well for Wales so far. I do think Ben Thomas, his defense is a little bit lacking a bit, I think. But outside of that, I think he's definitely starting to warm up into number 12 jersey. Fraser Dingwall comes in number 12, and Tommy Freeman number 13. These two play at the Saints together with Finn Smith. I think that's the reason why England's gone with these two, and obviously with the injury to what's his name? With the injury to the big guy, I can't remember his name. It'll come to me later. So they had to make some changes to the center, but I'm finding it a little bit surprising. Tommy Freeman's at 13. It's not crazy to have a winger out in the 13 position, but I just think that someone like Henry Slater would be much better here for the experience factor, because you kind of have that experience advantage over the Welsh centers, but with this setup you really don't have that anymore. So yeah, I don't know about the setup for England there. LSD comes in number 14 for Wales, and Tom Rubeck gets the nod at number 14 for England. Finally, Blair Murray comes number 15 for Wales, and then Marcus Smith number 15 jersey. On the bench now, Wales has again very strong bench coming off the front rowers. We got Lewis Lake comes in number 16, Gareth Thomas number 17, and Kira Asirati basically starting front rowers for the Wales in the past on the bench. Jamie George as well, former captain. Finn Baxter comes number 17, and then Joey Hayes comes in number 18 for England on the front rowers of the bench. Teddy Williams comes at 19 for Wales. Tommy Raphael, number 20. And then Rodri Williams, number 21 for Wales. We've got Chandler Cunningham South comes in number 19. Henry Pollock, number 20 for England. And Tom Willis finishing off as the 6th forward on the bench. Rodri Williams, I'm pretty sure he's halfback, is he? Yeah, scrum half. So Wales has stuck to the traditional 5-3 setup on the bench here. Gerald Evans comes in at number 22 for Wales. Jack Van Poffley, number 22 for England. And then finally, Nick Tompkins gets the nod on the bench at number 23 for Wales. And George Ford, England has brought him back. I'm surprised with the selection as well. So for sure, you put Freddie Stewart on the bench for this sort of game because you wanted to have, you've already got 2 playmakers on the field. You've got Marcus Smith and Finn Smith, and you have George Ford coming off the bench as like what, a 3rd playmaker. I don't understand. And who's George Ford going to replace? He's going to replace Finn Smith, who's been doing tremendously well, has played full game the whole season without any issues. What's the go here, Mr. Borthwick? Please explain that to me. But I actually see this potential upset here for Wales. I'm hoping for upset. Let's just call for it. I think Wales will upset England this weekend at Cardiff. Can't be that big of a score. Let's say 15 points to 12 for the Welsh. And finally, let's go for the quick go. Have a look here for Italy versus Ireland. I think this is just going to be. I think Italy has shown a lot of good attack with the Capuazzo and Montiuani with the wider when they make this wider plays. Italy has been really, really good with their speed and with some of their little kicking game over the top and stuff. But I do think that Italian forwards hasn't been that physically commanding when it comes to the breakdowns and around the tight areas. The Italians do have what do you call it? I do think the scrum is decent for the Italians, but I don't think they're going to be strong enough to, overpower Ireland in any sense there. But I don't think they're going to be too bad there. But yeah, overall, I think the Italians just not quite there. But I think we're probably going to see a couple of nice tries from Italy. And then I think the Irish team will just use their set piece, use their the forward dominance to pound this one out for an easy win. I think it's gonna be 45 points to 15 for the Irish there. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on this one, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe. I do think that I do like the fact that they finally decided to put Jack Crowley back at 10. Something that I've been calling for pretty much the whole season. I think it's a little bit too late. The Prendergast experiment hasn't really not worked out for Ireland, especially in the tougher games. When you lost the bonus point against Wales, that should have gone off. The siren should have gone off in your head heading into against France. But no, they just persisted, having Prendergast to start and having Jack Crowley come off to play fullback, play center, play whatever, and not really playing to his full strength of skill set there. So this should be a win for Ireland. Should be a entertaining game with a lot of scoring. And let me know your thoughts about any of these games, guys. Like, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you guys this weekend for the reviews. Have a good one. Cheers.